Hey everyone, Austin here again with another pinball machine gameplay video. As you can see, it's Ripley's Believe It or Not by Stern from 2004. Now, this is actually sort of a re-record. I originally did a Ripley's gameplay video about 2 or 3 years ago. I sold that machine, but got another one recently, and so I figured I'd go ahead and do another gameplay video, since I've got a higher quality setup now. And funny enough, my first gameplay video didn't have the dot matrix display. My camera kind of died on me as I was recording it. So, yeah, kind of like 2-for-1 deal here. And as usual, for those of you guys that don't want a commentary video, if you stumbled upon this and don't want to hear me talk, you can always check the description box below for the exact same gameplay video without commentary. So Ripley's is a great game. It's a very fun game. It's somewhat deep. It's kind of like straightforward, but it also has a lot of subtlety as well, which makes it a deep game. There's a lot of things to do. But in terms of scoring decent points, there's two main things you're gonna do. You're gonna get your multi-ball started, which is on the head shot at the top of the playfield. You can see the shrunken head, this black shrunken head. If you hit that, you'll progress towards lighting locks on the right ramp. The next major goal is to go through your modes in the game, your continent modes as they call them. There are 7 continent modes, and you can activate those or light them, qualify them by hitting the right ramp. There's this little thing called the Vary target right next to the right ramp, and it's basically a scoop, but with this variable target in front of it. So you have to smack this target really hard and push it all the way in, and the ball has to sink into the scoop behind it to start your modes. And so go through all 7 of those modes, and you'll get what's called the Continent Jackpot afterwards, and which can be a huge scoring value in this game. There's also a third goal for Wizard mode, and that's to actually complete your 7 modes. It can be any 7. Once you go through your continent modes once, you can, you know, go through them again, and you can complete 2 of the same modes twice and still get awarded credit for progressing towards your wizard mode. I'll try to explain that more as we go through the video. So basically what I've done here is I started one of my continent modes. This is Antarctica, and there's 3 2-ball multi-ball modes in this game. Antarctica is one, Africa is another, and North America, which you guys saw me play in the beginning, is the third one. And each of these 3 2-ball multi-ball continent modes are pretty much identical. You have to hit both ramps and then a shot to relight the jackpots. So I've just hit my second shot here, and for Antarctica, the right orbit is the relight shot. To complete this mode, I need to make 5 shots, 5 core shots, which is the ramp. So the relight shot, while it gives me points in Antarctica, it doesn't count towards my completion. And what I found actually interesting on Antarctica is it tells you on the dot matrix display that you need 6 shots to complete it. However, I found that it only takes 5. So Ripley's has some typos in it. It's got some bugs in it. Which almost kind of makes it interesting. So I hit the right ramp, relit my continent mode, and I hit the Vary target from the left flipper. It's actually really tough to hit it from the left flipper. I typically like to backhand it from the right side, but I managed to get it, and we started Africa, which again is a 2-ball multi-ball. So I need to hit both my ramps and then my relight shot. And the relight shot for Africa is on the idle on the far left. You can see these 5 white inserts flashing. There's actually an opto underneath that plastic. You can sort of see the glow from here, from this top-down angle. And by hitting that, you'll relight your jackpots in this mode. There's actually a magnet under that part of the playfield, so whenever you trigger the opto, the magnet activates and the ball sort of wiggles around a little bit. It can be dangerous, but I've found that it's, for the most part, relatively harmless. So if you get the ball up there and the magnet starts going, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. It's not like Iron Man or Addams Family where the magnets are in the middle of the playfield. So it's a lot less risky in this game. And so the goal in this one, I believe, is to get... I think you need 5 jackpots, maybe 6 on Africa. and to get your Ripley's letter. Now, I do want to spoil things a little bit. I do get to Atlantis, which is the wizard mode, the main wizard mode in the game. There's also another sort of like hidden, not really hidden, but elusive wizard mode that's really hard to get to, called Frog Frenzy. And if you guys want to see Frog Frenzy, I did not get to it in this gameplay video, but I actually managed to do it on stream when I stream this game on Twitch. And I actually have a broadcast archive of that on my YouTube channel, so feel free to check the description box below. I'll have my Frog Frenzy link in there as well. So basically, you start your continent modes, and if you play them out well enough, you'll get awarded a Ripley's letter. If you spell Ripleys completely, you'll qualify Atlantis on the very target scoop. And so that's usually my ultimate goal when I play this game. I usually play to get to Atlantis. I think that's fun. I like the Atlantis wizard mode. It's a difficult wizard mode to complete. I don't think I've actually finished it. There's this big jackpot you can get in Atlantis, and I haven't yet achieved that. So it's a good goal to get to. It's for some players, it's going to take a really long time to get to Atlantis for the first time. When you get really comfortable with the game, though, and you get comfortable with the modes, like we're in Australia right now, which is, to me, a really easy mode to complete. You have to hit the very target 4 times, or if you sink the ball in completely, you only have to hit it twice. So it's a mode you can finish very, very quickly. And we just hit it for the 3rd time. I just need one more hit to get that letter, and bam, there it is. If you sink the ball in, you actually get double the points. And so you can actually come out of Australia with some decent points as well. And so basically what I was saying is, when you get used to the game, you get really comfortable with how the modes work, you can actually pick up some Ripley's letters really quickly. There's some other ways to pick up Ripley's letters as well. For instance, you've got a scoop on the left side of the playfield, kind of like where the Addams Family scoop is. You can see it's actually lit up blue. There's a LED mod underneath it, which makes it light up. Normally the scoop is just completely black, dark. But there is a big arrow sign pointing to it as well, and I have an LED in that's also flashing. So when you see the light there flashing, pointing to the scoop, that means the scoop is ready. The scoop can sometimes award you a Ripley's letter. It also sort of randomly awards you other letters, or not other letters, other awards, such as start multiball. Like if I hit the scoop right now from the bottom side, it's going to start multiball instantly, which isn't usually what I want. I usually like to just try to hit the head directly on to start my multiball, which, by the way, my multiball is ready right now, so we're going to go into multiball shortly. And I just started South America, which is another continent mode, and the main shot for South America is on the head. And so I'm going to be starting multiball. There we go, and I got credited a shot for South America. And then balls are going to kick out from the ball locks, give me another shot on the head for free. So stacking South America into your main multi-ball is a really good idea if you're trying to get to Atlantis. It's a tough mode to complete in single ball play. Just got another hit on it. And there's another hit. And so we're in our main multi-ball now. The goal of the main multi-ball is to hit jackpots, and your jackpots are on the 2 main ramps and then the upper loop. And I did get a Ripley's letter from South America. You can see the DMD just gave it to me. But unfortunately, I didn't really play out that multi-ball very well. Not a big deal. Again, my goal is usually to progress through the continent modes and pick up Ripley's letters. And so if I stack a mode into my main multi-ball, my priority is usually to try to finish the mode, because I want to get those Ripley's letters. I want to get to Atlantis. And so I only need 3 more letters right now. But we just drained. We're still on ball 1 though. So I have 1 extra ball enabled on this machine, at least in this gameplay video. So we're going to play out the extra ball and then have 2 more balls after that. But as I was saying, you know, the more comfortable you get with your modes, you figure out how to stack modes into multi-balls, you can actually just pick up Ripley's letters back and forth really quickly. And then, like I said, there's other ways to get Ripley's letters, such as hitting the scoop. Sometimes it'll award you one. There's also this mystery award called Bozo. And you can add Bozo letters to oh geez, let me go back a step. You can, if you spell Bozo, B-O-Z-O, which is done by hitting the right ramp when it's not lit for anything, you will light Bozo on the scoop, the left scoop, and you have to actually hit that scoop from the right side. It's a really weird angle. Sometimes you can sink the ball into the right side of the scoop from the upper right flipper, and then that'll award you a mystery award as well. A lot of times Bozo will will award you a Ripley's letter. Sometimes it'll do some other cool things like light a super jackpot, which I'll try to explain shortly, and do other more minor things, but you can actually see what your next Bozo award will be when you collect a Bozo award. So there's several different ways to get Ripley's letters, but the core way to do it is to go through your continent modes. And so we're in Europe right now, and the stand-up targets are the main shots in this. You can see all your tombstone targets around the playfield lit up. There's these little square inserts that denote the tombstones, and so I think you need to hit 7 or 8 on this mode by default, on default settings. We're playing on default settings right now, by the way, and it's a risky mode to play in single ball play, but I usually play it out in solo play, single ball play, if I get into it. I don't typically drain too much from it, and unfortunately I did not finish it, but we've got our continent jackpot lit now. So what the continent jackpot is a culmination of all of your modes combined together, awarded in one big jackpot. So Ripley's really emphasizes and rewards players that actually play through their modes. It's not a game where you want to time out your modes. And so here we go. We're getting the continent jackpot, and you can see it's re-awarding everything I've already done in each mode. And then it's going to light a super jackpot, which is a really tight shot up by the head. If you've played Tron and you're familiar with the gem shot, the super jackpot shot is right exactly where the gem shot is. So it's pretty much the same kind of shot, and we just got it. And a little other tidbit of information is I've been sending the ball up to the upper playfield, which is fed by the center ramp. There you go. Believe it or not, got a Ripley's letter. And by playing the upper playfield, you can actually be awarded other awards. And one of the awards I achieved was 2 times playfield from the upper playfield. You'll notice there's a sort of like a Tic Tac Toe checkerboard, not checkerboard, but Tic Tac Toe board down, you know, by the slingshots. And every time you send the ball up to the top playfield, it fills in one of those squares. And if you get 3 across, or, you know, in any direction, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, you'll be awarded whatever award lines up to whatever lines up to that. And so the far right vertical column on that Tic Tac Toe board is 2 times playfield. And so if you get 2 times playfield going before your continent jackpot, before you get your continent jackpot, and then you collect it, it's obviously double points. So my continent jackpot was like 15 million or something like that. I didn't see exactly, but it's usually about 15 million the first time around, give or take a couple million points depending on how well you did on your modes. And I got that doubled. So, and then what's funny is I also collected a 6 million super jackpot right afterwards, but that was doubled. So I got 12 million points, plus like the 30 million or something I got from doubling my continent jackpot. That's how you blow this game up really quickly. Is usually Ripley's is kind of a low scoring game until you get to your continent, until you get your continent jackpot. And if you get it at ×2, you can just go from 10 million points, 15 million points to 50 million points in almost an instant if you do it just right. And that's one of the satisfying things about Ripley's. And so we need one more Ripley's letter to complete one more mode. Not to complete a mode, but we get another Ripley's letter by completing a mode. And so basically what I'm going to be trying to do is going through my continent modes again to get my next Ripley's letter, which will take us to Atlantis. But So to collect awards on the Tic Tac Toe board, if you see the center ramp lit, which right now it's lit, you can see a white flashing insert. It says gate open at the top. If you shoot it when the gate is open, what happens is the ball will feed either the B lane or the C lane. And you can sort of do some nudging at the top on the top play field to try to get the ball where you want it to go. If you want to, you say you want B1 or you want C3, you try to do some nudging up there to get the ball where you want it to go. When it's not lit and you shoot the center ramp, it always feeds the A lane. So if it wasn't lit and I shot it, it would give me A3 no matter what. But right now, since the gate is open, I could get B1 or C3. That's what that little display is for at the top on the upper play field. So there's a couple other little things going on here. Well, multi-ball. And that actually happens a lot. If you miss a shot, a lot of times a ball will ricochet off one of the stand-up posts and just go into the head. There's a magnet up by the head and an opto, so it's very easy to trigger it if a ball just rolls up there. But since we're back into multi-ball, the goal now is just to pick up jackpots. The jackpot value is actually determined by how many idols you've picked up. So I've actually picked up a lot of idols by this point, so my jackpot value is actually a pretty decent size. This is just personal preference, but I like to wait to play my main multi-ball until I've played a bunch of modes, preferably Africa, because by the time I get into my main multi-ball, after I've played a lot of modes, I will have hit a lot of idols by that point, which means my main jackpot value is going to be higher the first time I play it. And that value doesn't go back down over the course of the game, so if you play your second multi-ball afterwards, the jackpot value is going to be even higher, provided you've actually hit jackpots and more idols. And something else to keep in mind is when you play your main multi-ball, towards the beginning of the multi-ball, you know, in your first or second time playing it, it only takes a couple of jackpots to light your super jackpot. And so my super jackpot is lit again, remember, up by that gem shot on Tron, same spot on Ripleys. What's cool when the super jackpot's lit is when you hit the right orbit, a up post comes up and it diverts the ball back down, so you can get a nice shot on that super jackpot. The super jackpot is easily one of the hardest shots on the machine. I personally find it harder than the gem shot on Tron, and it's not because the shot is necessarily tighter, but if you feed the ball up and the up post kicks the ball back, a lot of times it doesn't give you a nice clean feed because you've got a spinner there that sort of screws with the ball's movement and momentum. Also, if you hit the very target, there's a vertical up kicker that sends the ball right to the upper flipper, but the feed out on that is very inconsistent as well. So unlike Tron, I find it really difficult to get a consistent feed for the super jackpot shot. And something else to note about the super jackpot is, unfortunately, after multi-ball, if your super jackpot's lit, it goes out when your multi-ball's over. If you light the super jackpot normally, outside of multi-ball, it'll stay lit permanently until you collect it. So if you get it from a Bozo award, or if you get it from the checkerboard award, it'll stay permanently lit until you collect it. Now, super jackpots do not light in your 2-ball continent multi-ball modes. Now, super jackpots are decent points. They can be decent points. They can be anywhere from 1 million to 6 million points. If you get the 1 million one, you'll also light special at the same time. If you get the 2 million one, you'll also light extra ball on the very target, which is really good to know for, say, location play where extra balls are turned on. So we've gotten our last Ripley's letter, so once we come out of this mode, we're going to be able to go straight into Atlantis. And I'll be able to explain Atlantis there. But a couple other things on the playfield. You've got your penguin laps. That's the right orbit as well as the upper loop. And if you hit those, you'll build penguin laps. Penguin laps build towards awards like penguin jackpots, but they also determine your value of your Antarctica jackpots. So here we go, we just collected a special, and now we're actually into Atlantis.
I don't believe my eyes.
Alright, so the goal of Atlantis is to complete all of your checkered board awards. So if you look at the little display on the upper playfield, the A, B, and C display, you'll notice there's an arrow up there. So what you need to do is you need to actually hit the center ramp to collect that arrow. That collects whatever award is lit on the checkered board. And you need to go through and do that 8 times. So you need to hit the center ramp, then that light goes out, and then it's just lit for a regular jackpot. So now I need to hit the head to relight my next grid award. And I need to just do that over and over. And if I want to, I can try to hit ramps. You can see jackpots are lit on the ramps. And the jackpot value is actually determined by how many times you've hit the upper playfield throughout your play session. And if I recall correctly, I don't really get that many points in Atlantis. Atlantis is tough. So I hit the head, my center ramp is relit to collect another grid award. My jackpots are actually decently sized though. They're 2.4 million. That's actually really good. So I just picked up another 2.4 mil. I must have had a double playfield running actually, because now it says that the jackpot is 1.2. Yeah, so I think one of my awards was double playfield or something like that. So you can see the arrow is actually lit up again on the upper playfield. So if I hit that center ramp, I'll get whatever award is lit on the bottom of the playfield. And so there's multiple ways you can play Atlantis. If you wanted to, you can just get to Atlantis and just play for just regular jackpots. That can actually be decent points. But the goal, again, is to pick up all 8 Temple Grid Awards, as they call them in this game. And if you do that, you'll get awarded this massive jackpot. And I think the value was like 17 to 18, 19 million or something when I got into this. But since you've collected all of your Temple Grid Awards, you'll probably have double playfield running as well. And so, you know, that 17 million turns into a very quick 34 million points. On top of whatever jackpots you've picked up along the way. So only got 8.5 million, but 8.5 by Ripley's terms isn't too bad. But for wizard mode, it's probably not that great. But so now that we've played the multi-ball, the main multi-ball once, if I want to relight the head, I have to hit the center ramp. There's this orange insert that lights. I've also got million plus going, which is million plus is it means the upper loop is lit. It goes 1 million. If you hit it again, it goes 2 million, and then if you hit it again, it goes 3 million, and then it'll stay at 3 million for a few seconds, and then time out. So million plus can actually be decent points if you can pump that upper loop. It's a pretty cool little bonus. I like getting million plus lit. You can get some decent little points pretty quickly. And you can get some other awards on the idle. For instance, I think on default settings, 15 idols lights extra ball. Actually, I might have raised that up. I think it's on default settings, it's actually less for extra ball. And trying to think of what else there is to explain on the playfield. You've got 3 top lanes in the top set of pop bumpers. And you can get your bonus X up. Bonus isn't very high in this game, but if you have a decent ball, it definitely doesn't hurt to have 5x bonus. You'll probably come out with 4 or 5 million points in bonus, which in this game is solid. We just started Road Trip, which is a mode where pretty much every shot is lit. The problem with Road Trip is that you can't start continent modes when you're in Road Trip. The point of Road Trip is to collect jewels. Jewels are the things that you collect on the upper playfield, on the A, B, or C lanes. And jewels give you small points when you get them, and they add to your end of ball bonus. but they also determine your Atlantis multi-ball jackpot value. So if you're going to get to Atlantis, and if your plan is to get to Atlantis, you probably want to pick up some jewels, which is not a bad idea. I think each jewel is basically, it makes the jackpot, it adds, each jewel you get, sorry, adds 100,000 points to the Atlantis jackpot. So when I got into Atlantis, I think I only had like 12 jewels, which is why my Atlantis jackpot was like 1.2 mil or something like that. I got a super jackpot, which isn't bad. Always good to get some super jackpots. As you pick up jewels in Road Trip, though, you build a jackpot value on the very target. So if you get a bunch of jewels really quickly, you can get that value up to, I've had it up to like 1,000,000 points before, and you just hit that very target over and over, and it just awards you that point value, which is not bad. Ideally, though, if you get in the Road Trip, you want to take it into a multi-ball or something like that.
It's time to visit Asia.
So we're back into Asia. Asia is a spinner mode. You need to hit the spinners. There's 2 spinners on the playfield. There's the upper loop, and then there's the right orbit. Asia can be a very easy mode to complete, or if your Ripley's is like mine, where the right spinner in particular doesn't seem to want to spin very much, it can be a hard mode. It just depends on the Ripley's you're playing. Some Ripley's I've played, you can just rip the spinners and complete it in basically one shot. So a couple of other little details I didn't mention is you have this thing called the Bigfoot value, and the Bigfoot value is built by hitting the pop bumpers. Now the Bigfoot value actually determines your jackpot value in North America, and North America is easily, of the continent modes, the biggest scoring mode. You can get that Bigfoot value up very high, over 1,000,000, and you're just making 1,000,000 plus a shot. In Africa, the idol builds, well, actually it doesn't build the jackpot value, it relights the jackpot, but Africa is the second highest scoring continent mode, multi-ball. But that, you have to actually keep it going. But if you can keep it going, you get your jackpots up pretty high on that too. So at this point, that's basically the end of my game. From here on out, I have really bad balls. I think I make a really bad flub on a dead flipper bounce or something like that. And then, I think I get an instant drain as well. Like, I short plunge, hit a couple slings, it flies out, and then I drain right away. There's a couple ways to plunge on Ripley's, which I probably should have explained in the beginning. But you can either full plunge to the top lanes, you can try to short plunge to a skill shot into the right of that left scoop, and you'll get awarded 1,000,000 points. On your next skill shot, you'll get 2,000,000, and then 3,000,000. Potentially 4,000,000, I think, if you get an extra ball or something like that and you nail it a 4th time. I usually avoid the skill shot because there's a set of tombstone targets directly above the skill shot. A lot of times what happens is you'll hit the skill shot. I'm sorry, you'll go for the skill shot, but then you'll miss. It'll hit the tombstone targets above it, go directly to the right out lane, and then you'll drain. Ripley's, believe it or not, by default, has no ball save. And as you saw on that previous ball, I got screwed. But what I typically do is I short plunge. I try to plunge directly to the flippers, don't hit a single switch. And then I have quite a bit of grace period before I get playfield validation. So I can usually hit a couple of switches before the playfield validates. And so, even if I short plunge to the flippers and I miss and it drains, it'll usually give it back to me. But as you saw in the previous ball, if you hit a few slingshots, sometimes you'll activate ball save that way. Or not ball save, you'll activate playfield validation, and then the game will think you actually drained legitimately. What I recommend doing is, if you're going to play this in a home setting, is turning ball save on. It just makes life a little bit easier. There's nothing like having a 30-minute game on Ripley's like this, and then just getting screwed afterwards. There's not many pinball machines I can think of where you can have a game that long and then just get screwed 3 balls in a row. And Ripley's, it's very common. So Ripley's can be a very difficult and challenging game. So I think I've explained most of what there is to explain. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of other little minor details I missed, but that's Ripley's Believe It or Not for you. Really, really good pinball machine. I highly recommend playing it if you see it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, post them down below. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I've got a lot of pinball gameplay videos on here, and more to come in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.